we may need it sooner than we think. The stench in 1945 all across Europe, including the town in which I was brought up, Portsmouth, where I could still see it when I was a small boy, the bomb sites and the rubble and the wreckage, but not all of it, because the stench of 1945 all the way across Europe was the stench of disinfectant being sprayed on rubble. You can't dig anymore, there's no point in it, there's only putrefaction and misery underneath. You can't keep digging if you don't disinfect it. And I would say that the stench of disinfectant sprayed on rubble, the rubble is on top of human remains, is the particular tang, stench, odor of fascism. And we used to, in our movement, in our pages and so on, say we'd give the title anti-fascist to the older comrades, to those who'd suffered and been through it and so on. We never thought, I think, many of us, that how soon we might have to earn this great title of honor for ourselves. Though we were warned. You remember the end of Bertolt Brecht's play Arturo Ui, when the leader steps forward to the front of the stage after Hitler's body has turned to carrion, after all, at last, and says, well, this is the thing that nearly had us mastered, but do not think that that is all, you men, for though we rose up and we beat the bastard, the bitch that bore him is on heat again. And I think the stench of rubble and carrion and disinfectant from Oklahoma is a kind of a warning. And this time it's not digging out at the end, it's digging out at the beginning of a battle with reaction, with the Galenites and their descendants, and with those who wanted to turn yours, my democratic republic into an empire. KKK is Kinder, Kircher, and Kusher too. These rebels, as they call themselves, these anti-establishment figures, are nothing of the kind. They say they're against the government, they're lone pioneers and frontiersmen. Who are they? Where does Gordon Liddy come from if he isn't a pimp of the state? An incubus from the national security system. Where does Oliver North come from? Who dares say this man is a rebel or a dissident? He's an outgrowth of the government. I know, sir. I promised you nothing less. What's anti-government about these extruded forces of the state? They will, when the time comes, if it does come, and we should take care to discuss it soberly, but if the time should come when push came to shove, these are the people who would be the Freikorps, these are the people who would take orders, these are the people who would be the disciplined and docile forces of a government that would, of course, always regard them as deniable, and we have been warned. So I'll save much, but not all, of what I was going to say. Let's be prepared not to be hysterical about this. Let's be artistic. Let's be ironic. After all, when Picasso was visited in his studio in occupied Paris by a Gestapo officer who was told to make nice with him, and there was a canvas of a sketch of Guernica on the wall, the Gestapo critic rocked on his heels in front of it and said, "That's very good. Did you do that?" Picasso said, "No, you did." We don't have to be crude. We don't have to be crude. We don't have to be rough, but we ought to be ready to earn the title of anti-fascist for ourselves, and we ought not to be scared of the fighting words, the alleged fighting words of others, of the scum of the earth, of the fat fucks like Rush Limbaugh, and the pimps and pensioners of the state, like Oliver North and Gordon Liddy. We should rather be getting ready with some fighting words and some fighting gestures of our own. Thank you.
As this meeting goes along, the nation looks better and better.